So welcome to my YouTube friends. I just flipped the switch. If the algorithm has brought you here for the first time, welcome. It's yoga for everybody. If you're thinking about doing yoga, this is a nice way to get into the game. It's restorative yin yoga. It's for helping heal and restore and regenerate our body, mind, and spirit. Anyway, you should try it out. If you've been watching for a while, you've already liked and subscribed, or maybe you're watching this recorded on my Upward Spiral YouTube channel. Upward Spiral Yoga YouTube channel now has over 700 videos, and soon we'll have thousands of subscribers thanks to your help. Anyway, we got 3-4 more minutes on the back, just breathing, relaxing, cooling off. We're live streaming from the East Bay of California up in Northern California. It's very hot today, but yin yoga is characterized by cooling, low to the floor poses. In fact, I think we're ready to breathe down from our belly button now. Breathe what you feel and feel what you breathe. Good. Nice big inhale, biggest inhale of the whole day. Fill up your whole body. Exhale, let it go. We are calm, empty, relaxed souls. Spacious, available, open-minded, willing. Good. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Take your arms up to the ceiling. Stretch back over your head. Get a good first thing in the morning, euphoric, resilient stretch. Writhing left and right always helps. Good. Draw your knees in. Roll around on your back a little bit. Good, you guys. Let's roll up together. Let's say hello. Wednesday, July. It's July. Wow. Wednesday, August 7th. Wow, this moving thing has been one of the biggest projects of my life. It's like, well, yeah, everybody moves, but this one, wow, this one. This has been the one for me, and it's been a spectacular process. It's been challenging, but I just know the greatest good comes from it. I'm a little more centered in my place. You can see it's a little more spacious. Still having to use my laptop. I can't find the cord to my cool Sony camera, which gives the wider angle and the clearer picture. But the main thing is we're here gathered to do yoga together. So welcome if you've been doing yoga with me for more than 20 years or just 20 minutes. Yoga is the art and the science of bringing our mortal mind into conscious contact with something greater than ourselves, and that leads to healing, wholeness, truth, and well-being. Nice deep breath. Close your eyes. Just breathe a couple of times from the tip of your nose. Wednesday yoga, there's no rush, there's no huge agenda to power through some dynamic sequence. That's a wonderful thing, but not every time. Okay, we'll chant an Om together. If you're brand new to chanting Om, it's just you belt it out and no one's going to judge you. Nice big inhale. Okay, and I'm a big fan of invocations or affirmations, prayers or intentions, hands at our hearts. Now to any power that you consider greater than yourself, or the greatest power greater than yourself, bless us with exactly the practice we need tonight to heal, to restore, to regenerate, but not just that, to be filled with a positive, loving presence, the positive joy of existence. Om. Amen. Okay. If you're new, we start with almost all my classes with joint juice. If you just stick with me for 20 minutes and do joint juice, you'll be so much the better for it. Well, I've made big progress here. These little connections that I keep making, this, and opens up this space, and then I make this decision, other way with your hands and shoulders. And then this space opens up, and then I can move this in, and I can get that box out of the way, and I can give this away. 6, 7, 8. Good job. Lace your hands. If you haven't done this one, it's unusual. Thumbs up. And I'm brushing my thumbs down the side of my neck, the widest part. And I still have not found my razor. So I've got about 8 days of werewolf going. But I think tomorrow I've found the box. 6. Sorry for emphasizing this move so much. It's just, I think as teachers we have to talk about our life and what our experiences are. Good, now take your opposable thumbs underneath your jaw. Pretty soon I'll be able to play golf with my friends again. So my thumbs go underneath here. I relax my hands down into my face, down into my hands. And I massage my thumbs underneath my jawbone. All this is release work. We find the various pressure points of our body and we apply intelligent movement. Dig it in. Good, now hold steady pressure. Maybe push in a little more if you're one of my veterans. Good. That's beautifully followed up by dropping your chin. 8 languid neck rolls. 1. The technical term for this kind of yoga is viyama, breaking up congestion, not just physical, emotional, mental, environmental, relational. We get stuck and congested and stagnant in a variety of ways. You can't help it if you're a human, but you can help it if you do yoga. 6. 7, 8. Take it around the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, believe it or not, you get to relax your head down for 30 seconds, keeping your eyes closed, chin dropped. This aims the attention into our body. And if you know the ujjayi breathing, you can begin to make that whispery seashell sound at the back of your throat. Everything we do is to calm the turbulence of the mind, to still the agitation of our always moving mind, it seems. Good. Now take the heels of your hands and bonk them together. We also do reflexology. Yogis call it, in Ayurveda, it's called marma work, pressure point. It's a very powerful point to the body. Any joint is, but the one that leads to your arm to your hand. Good. Now I'm going to see how I'm kind of pushing in here left and right. So if you do this one properly, it takes a while. You flex your wrists, you stimulate your hips, you obviously move your shoulders. There's just a lot of stuff here. Then I'm going forward. See this? Over the top and down. It's an acquired taste like Brussels sprouts. I bet you didn't like Brussels sprouts when you were a kid unless you were starving to death and wandering across post-war Europe or something. You would have eaten something far more provocative than a Brussels sprout, I would imagine. You'll eat anything when you're hungry. 7, 8. Good. Now, we were doing this flexion of our hands. See that? Now we're doing that. See the diff? So the back of my hands go in here. And now, if you haven't done yoga for a while, your hands may have turned into lobster claws. And we can't have that because your hands are your organ of manifestation. They're your tool of creating in the world. Yoga recognizes this. Good. Now back, up, over, forward, around, and down. 1, 2, 3. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, why would I make a reference like wandering across post-World War II Europe? Because I have a very dear friend who comes to class and she did that. And she's here to tell the story. There's nothing wrong with having severe trials and tribulations in your life. It gives you a story. You can't have a testimonial without a test. 7, 8. Then I go fling, up. If you're brand new, these are super fun. Go behind your back, up your back, behind your neck. Oof. Boy, sure I'm glad I started my dietary regimen change about 2 months ago before I moved. I've lost 20 pounds in 80 days. Literally, I've got pictures to show it, and I'm not crowing about it. I'm just saying that when you make a decision and you make life changes, but being lighter, healthier, stronger sure made moving a lot easier, because in terms of physical taxation, this last week has been as strong a week as I could ever remember. I had tons of stuff to move. Up your back. Now I just have a ton of stuff, my favorite stuff. Poof. Good. Okay, let's chant another Om because it's so good for our soul and spirit. Nice big inhale. Feel that. Now I know a lot of my YouTubers, they haven't seen Looney for a couple of weeks, and I think he'll actually make it in tonight. I built him this beautiful catio out there. It's 12 feet by 26 feet, and I'm planting plants and building him a deck, and I've enclosed it with a beautiful fence. So, but I told him to come in and he would get some cat treats, so you should be seeing him shortly. So there. Now we're going to do one Adho Mukha Sukhasana, one seated forward fold. If you're tight as a boiled owl, can barely come forward, it's okay. Do the possible. If you can come all the way down and lay it out, that doesn't make you, well, it kind of makes you better than some people, but just at this, relax your shoulders away from your ears. And let's give time to do what it does. Sometimes I sway a little bit left and right. For me, it's a bit of a soothing, calming. I think we all relate very deeply from being little kids and held and swayed a little bit. Drop your chin, relax your head, let go of your neck. There are other ways to do forward folds that are faster and stronger, but this is yin yoga. Takes me a while sometimes, but I can now get my elbows down. I took my time. I can't find my yoga blocks yet, so I'm using my elbows. Good, now we're going to inhale and look forward, not lick forward. And as I call this, looking forward at your bright future. That's inhale. Exhale, deepen back in for 4 or 5 breaths of internal introspection, contemplation, integration. There's no rush. It's so difficult for me to get out of the rushing thing sometimes. Okay, come on up. Now, when I moved in almost a week ago, I was in a rush. I wanted to get all my instruments in here. You guys know one of my yoga is music, and so just haven't been able to do it. Tomorrow, I moved my new piano in, my new guitar, my guitars, and I moved my drum kit in here. I'm so excited. It's been a week without my musical yoga. Okay, now feet together. Wag your knees. We'll get our bodies from all the angles. If this one's coming good for you, you're putting your hands here and gently releasing. And if this one's coming good for you, then you push your knees all the way down, straighten your arms, lean forward, drop your chin, do ujjayi breathing, and suddenly become enlightened. Anything can happen in this class. Everything has happened. Everything has happened in one of my yoga classes. Students meet, they get married, people fall in love, people, oh my God, everything happens in here. It's another true story. Okay, now from here, arms out. A lot of this stuff is just monkey see, monkey do. There's a lot to be said for monkey see, monkey do, because monkeys are damn strong or smart animals. Side to side. Sometimes humans could learn a lot just from watching and doing instead of, hey, I wonder if I should do that. Just do it. I'm starting a tennis shoe company, maybe up in Oregon. Just do it. Good, now internal, external. In, out. Now all the in you got, hands behind your back. Now it's weird if you've never put your back of your hands in your armpits. It's really cool. And then I put my elbows inside my knees. We did this last night at my in-person, I still teach yoga in person in Pleasant Hill, California, to a spectacular group of people. Last night the class was very large and it was all women. So I was a woman last night. So now I'm going to drop my chin. And now that I've lost this weight, my elbows are probably 3-4 inches closer than they were 2 months ago. And then you just steep in the experience of yoga. You know, you can just let your knees fall. This is a Greg staple. This is a Greg-ism. Roly-polies. I got my barbecue on. I went to Home Depot. I left my propane tank open, and so it emptied out. I was going to make a steak, but instead I made a mistake. So today I got propane. Other way. Steak for dinner tonight, kids. See how I'm just rolling my wrists out? Monkey see, monkey do. I'm a monkey. Shake it out. This gets tension, fear, worry, anxiety, all that crap out. We just do not need. Everything is going to be okay. Hi, how you doing? This is actually fanning me. This room, compared to where I was before, This room is much cooler. I am so grateful. Plus, I've been able to move my 6 air filters into this room. This room has not one molecule of allergen or pollen. Cup your hands at your heart, drop your chin, breathe clean, beautiful air. Okay, now here's a pose that's coming back for me as I've lost 6 inches off my belly, and that is bringing my knees in together and bringing my heels into my bottom. So 2 months ago it was about here because there was just like Santa Claus thing going on here. And I love Santa Claus. I'm not judging anybody. I'm just judging myself. So now I can kind of squeeze my knees in a little closer together. And in about 2 more months, my knees will come easily all the way together. My heels will be at my bottom, and I'll cross my wrists and grab my feet. On May 15th, I started at 203.6 pounds, and I started to practice mitahara, which is yoga term for intelligent intake of proper foods for me, because I've been pretty slack and lazy and my sugar addiction came back. And so I started mitahara, it's called. And now in 80 days, I weigh 183.6 pounds, 20 pounds. My goal is about 170. That's my high school fighting weight. Oh boy, I can really feel the space in my body now. It's a very important pose. This is squatting on your butt. This pose may seem very simple or rudimentary, but do you realize how important simple and rudimentary things are? Okay, now, an interesting twist. I'm going to slide forward a little bit. Nice turnout tonight. I'm on my laptop. I can't see who's in class. Great turnout. Good to see you all. Now, I'm going to fold my right knee over my left. See that? And see how my left ankle comes out and crosses over my right ankle? And by next class, I'll have my Sony camera. There'll be a wider angle. Now from here, I just lift my hands. I turn to my left. I put my hands down on the floor. And now I'm going to walk. You can't see me anymore. Walk your hands around to the left as far as you can. You're traveling around your body in the opposite direction of your legs. You're going to run out of room. When you run out of room, mild is just staying there. Medium is your elbows, are your elbows, I suppose, in English. And contortionists, of whom I've known many, can lay down on their chest and their right ear. For me, I'm just going to go left elbow, and we're going to yin this for about a minute. I made this pose up. It's one of my favorites. It's called Gregasana. Maybe in 3 minutes I could bring my right elbow down, but we'll see. Yin yoga just goes layer by layer by layer through your body, into your body. Okay, I'm edging down to my right elbow. That's the benefit of taking your time. Okay, really big inhale. Really big exhale. Okay, now I'm going to come back up on my hands. If you're already there, good for you. Now I'm going to walk my hands back around to the front. Hello. Now I'm just going to take my right arm around and bring my right arm over on my right side. Now, my bendy ragdoll friends, they can even lay on their back in this pose. I can't. So we just turned our torso 180 degrees. I think that is spectacular that our body will do that. Now the Olympic performers, the track stars, the swimmers, the judo experts, they could lay on their back. But I haven't been in the Olympics since 1984, so this is fine for us. Stay here for a few more moments. I need to make a bit of a logistical course correction here. Now, if you're watching this for the first time and you really can barely do this or anything approximating this, good for you. You're in the game. I don't care where you are in the game. I care that you're in the game and that you've decided to quit thinking about doing yoga and start actually doing it. The difference in results is astonishing. Okay, now I'm coming back up on my hands. My chest is pointed up. Now I like to go onto my fists for this one, and then I lift my hips up like a person lifting their hips. Again, gymnasts, circus performers, head back down to the foot. I've got a couple of wildly flexies in my public class, and they can do the contortionist stuff. Lift up, good, and sink down. I think the contortionist stuff is sort of, it's okay, but it's problematic in that it makes people who aren't contortionists sometimes feel like yoga is not for them. Anyway, unwind your knees. We're sitting again. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, part of my mind wants to, after class, I'm going to go at that box and I'm going to hang that shelf, and I'm just going to cool my jets, close my eyes. I love a good project. Okay, now, do you remember the sequence? I do. Your left knee folds over your right knee. Now, what you may or may not be able to take your right ankle out and make a little twisty tie. Now, maybe you're brand new and this is it. Both hands up, both hands down to your right. See that? Now, play a game of Twister with yourself and start to walk. Stay up on your hands with long arms and walk around your body to your right until you can go no further. Having gotten there, pause, breathe, assess, and then newbies will stay up on their hands. Mediums will maybe a right elbow, maybe a left elbow, maybe both. And really bendy people who are made of silly putty, they'll come down onto their chest and maybe even their left ear, but that's a wildly flexible iteration. And we'll do this for 1 minute. You do these poses, they'll end up doing you. You do the possible. Yoga does the impossible for you. Okay, I can barely get down to my right elbow now, and we're halfway duration. Maybe my left elbow, you decide for yourself. Okay, stay in the pose, really big inhale. Exhale, let it all go. Okay, if you're down on your elbows or chest, back up on your hands. Walk around slowly, torso-wise, back to the front, to the left. Now I can put my left hand over here on the left side. And I would love to be able to lean all the way back, but I can't. Yoga is very, not humiliating, very humbling. Humbling is a good thing. Humbling is the wise recognition of our pecking order in the universe, and that wherever we get, there's always greater than ourselves, and it keeps us, what's a good phrase, right-sized. Oh, I can see the YouTube analytics. People from all over the world. Not as many as at the Olympics, but we're growing by leaps and bounds. And in this class, you can earn your own medal. And by the way, if you can lean all the way on your back in this pose, that's a beautiful thing. Okay, now if you did lay back, come back up onto your hands. Everything from the belt line down stays where it is. I like fists because fists lengthen the effective pushing distance of my arms. From my fists, I have more lift than from the heels of my hands. Then I lift up in a way that might seem very limited, but it's a lot for me. You lift up. If you can jack your hips way up in this one, that's a groovy thing. Good, then sink down. All right. Undo that. And a pose we've not done for a while. Legs out to the side. It's a toughie for a lot of, you might be here with your knees bent and your toes pointed out to the side, pelvis rolling back, leaning back on your hands in anguish. Well, you're just going to have to move through it, but I'm widening out a little. I'm no paragon of virtue. And it's been so long that I've done this, and I'm so sore from moving that taking my legs out makes my glutes cramp a little bit. So I'm supporting myself on my hands. I'm closing my eyes, and I'm going to breathe in to the sensation that is, for me, because I haven't done it for a week, is less than pleasurable. Again, sorry for the camera angle. Next time you see me, it's going to look different. So I am so tight after not doing this for a week. I've done it for 40 years. Take 1 week off and you can feel it. This is why you've got to stick with your yoga. You cannot be inconsistent, ephemeral, on and off. So I'm supporting myself with my hands behind my back, keeping my spine up, my hips forward, my legs engaged. Now after that, I finally feel like I can get my hands off the floor and then extend up, root the legs in. So I like to think of the underseam of my legs like octopus legs with the suction cups sucking them down. By the way, I'm washing my clothes right now. Oh my God. Good, and release, you guys. Now, you know what feels really good after that is to lie on your back and take your legs up and let them cool off for about 1.5 minutes of Viparita Karani, legs up. If you're brand new, your knees are bent, your legs are shaking, and it's really challenging, then there's still hope for you. Just moderate how long you do it. Now, this is an inversion. Now, we think of yogis doing very exotic inversions, headstands, handstands, shoulder stands, and that's wonderful. It's some of the greatest yoga that the esoteric yogis can do. But lying on your back with your legs up is an inversion. And while it may not do for you what a headstand would do, it'll do what this will do, which is sufficient at this phase of your development. Yoga will always come to you in increments, and if you stick with it, you'll always be revealed to the next thing that's appropriate. When the student is ready, the teaching appears. And now I'm going to start to widen my legs out. This is the same pose we just did. It's on the back though, so it doesn't apply quite as much pressure to the adductors, the buttocks. Ankles, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fingertips on the back of the head. 10 crunches. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. I'm going to bend my knees. Now, if you're a tight person, grabbing your knees, and I'm going to put a blanket. If you're tight, you just put a blanket roll underneath your neck. If you're very flexible, it's a bit superfluous, unnecessary. Knees are in. If you can reach up further and grab, I grab my big toes. And now this is one that's really coming back after losing 20 pounds, is happy baby pose. Now for this one, I do put a blanket roll underneath my neck. And again, 5 seconds of this is something, but a minute and a half is a whole different animal. Oh, this one sinks in. It SINKS is in, and it SYNCS is in. It sinks us in. There's this beautiful big hill just outside. It's called Treat Boulevard, and it's a 3-mile long hill, and I made it up about a third of the way and had to turn around today because of logistics, but ooh, boy, did I build some muscles going up that. Okay, now just release your legs back up, bend your knees, bring your feet down to the floor, slide your legs out, and I'm asking you to please take about a 1-minute Shavasana. I need to run out and find one of my yoga blocks for the thing that I want to do next. So you're probably not unhappy, just relaxing on your back for 1 minute. And I promise to be right back. And I'm going to see if I can find Looney also. So 1 minute. I'll see you in 1 minute. Don't go nowhere. No flipping. Larry Sanders Show. Okay, and then let's sit up, you guys. We got a nice little yin sequence. Look who I found. Ha ha! How you doing? Some of you haven't seen Looney for a couple of weeks, and I know a lot of the YouTubers only come to see Looney, but he is so happy here. He had such a miserable week when I was moving. I had to keep him in a room with the door locked while I had all the doors open and stuff, but he's acclimating beautifully, and he's happier than he's ever been, feistier than he's ever been. Anyway, this is Yoga Petting Your Cat. You gonna stay there? Not a chance. So I found a yoga block. I went out there and I found one. Now these are the yoga blocks from my yoga studio called the Yoga Fusion. And I'm kind of sentimental when I see these ones with a stripe on it. But I'm trying not to ever be sentimental ever again, because what's out in front of us is always better than what's behind us. So I'm gonna lay on my back. Now I'm going to take this one block and put it underneath my sacrum. Now I could turn it up once. This is not an extreme position. Right now my hips are lifted 5 inches. If I turn the block down one size, it's 3 inches. So I'll go with this. And we're going to do a sequence of vinyasa. My feet are flat. My knees are about hip distance apart. Shoulder blades relaxed on the floor, staring right up at my ceiling, which looks exactly like the place where I used to live. The exact same, probably the same builder. Just let the back of your neck relax. And in about 1 minute, we'll start a sequence of things with our legs that, when your hips are lifted like this, have a significant benefit. Now I've taken my breathing down to my belly button. I'm making a meditation, a slow, patient, parasympathetic, diaphragmatic style of breathing down from my belly button. Good, now the knees come in, and maybe just knees in is what you can do. Now this is a pose we just did before, but the dynamic is considerably different. The results are considerably different because of the 5-inch lift of my hips. Really good for stretching the back of my neck. Of course, that brings some constriction to my throat. That works at various levels, all the way to your thyroid. Yoga is bodily genius, and it doesn't matter where we meet it. Sooner or later, the genius of yoga, we can bring ourselves up higher. Could gonna widen my legs out. That looks funky with this camera. Now I'm going to wrap my left thigh over my right thigh. See that? And in 1 more month, my left ankle is going to go back underneath my right ankle because I've been working on it and losing weight. Now my right foot's going to come down to the floor. If you can do this with your knees and ankles crossed, you're my hero. 1 minute here. This gets this deeply compressed, congealed, hypertonic front of hip area that most of us, most YouTubers have, which is, if the algorithm brought you here, like and subscribe, stick with yoga. Now I'm turning my head in this pose, and you're not supposed to. I break a lot of rules, and experience the consequences. Next week I get my new ceiling fan installed, yay. So I'm looking at exactly where it's going to go. Now here's a challenge for my stronger yogis. Can you push into your right foot and your shoulder blades and lift your butt up off of the block? That is a cool range of motion. Good, rest your buns back down if you've done that. If you didn't do it, you'll do it in a couple of weeks. Bring your knees in, extend your leggies up, widen out for some nice air conditioner down there. Now super wrap your right thigh over your left. Slink your right ankle under, which I'll be doing by Christmas time. Doesn't Christmas time sound crazy? I went to Lowe's today. They had the Halloween stuff out. Now bring your left foot down to the floor. Halloween, it's August 7th. August, September, October. Halloween's not for nearly 90 days. Remember when Halloween was like no big deal? Now it's 3 months. Now remember, if you just get in these poses, they will do you. They're prayers, they're bodily prayers. If you do them in trust and are patient, these shapes will do things that will astonish and amaze you. I'm not kidding. They will change your life beyond your wildest imaginings. New opportunities, new ideas, new relationships, new understandings, more will be revealed. Good. Now, can you lift your butt up? Can you press into your left foot and bring your buns up? Oh, that's an amazing movement. Good. Rest your booty buns back down. Bring your knees in. Legs back up and straight. Now we're going to do Urdhva Paschimottanasana. I'm going to let my legs begin to jackknife over my body. Now there's a pose called Halasana, which is shoulder stand. That would be our butt on the floor. And then we would hike our butt up over our face and do plow pose. This is not that. This is keeping my hips where they are, letting my legs fold over my body, and getting a slow, semi-tolerable stretch of the back of my legs. Really bendies, like my friend Helga, their legs fold all the way over the body, but see my belt line here? It stays on the block. No cheating. As I relax and the back of my legs begin to release even a little bit, which is good for me, I feel my hips dropping and my hip crease increasing as my lower back releases. I like this way of doing a forward fold better than any other way that I've found at this phase of my life. It cures my ego. My legs won't fold all the way over, but I don't care. I'm not going to compare myself to you anymore. I'm going to compare myself to me. Good, really big inhale. Exhale, let it go. Bend your knees and keep your knees and feet together as you slowly bring your feet back down to the earth. And woo, good. Now, just slide your flat feet as far forward as you can, keeping your feet flat. I can only get to here. If I go further, my toes would start to lift and my knees would start to come apart. my teacher would come over to me and strap my legs together, stand on my feet, and pull my legs out. And I would say something like, "You son of a bitch," but I would say it very quietly. My teacher did a lot of things to me that nobody else could get away with. And now bring your feet back in, press into your feet, lift your butt, get the block out of the way, stretch your legs out, and the kids fell into Shavasana. Yeah, baby. 6 minutes tonight of delicious, life healing, wonderful. Good night, Helga. I love you more than the moon and the stars. Moi. And Shavasana time for kitty cats. By the way, Helga, she left the Zoom class. Helga's my 88-year-old friend. She was born in Germany in 1936 and was a starving 9-year-old at the end of World War II, wandered across Europe, escaped to America, built a beautiful life, kicks my ass in yoga up one side and down the other. So that's who Helga is. 5 minutes starting right now. I'm going to do it with you. Boy, does this feel good. Okay, my friend, stay nice and relaxed. In fact, relax a little more. Deepen in. Such a precious time at the end of class. This connection of soul and spirit. Good. This is the perfect time to invite God, love, source in if you'd like. Infinite higher organizing principle, IHOP. Good. If you prayed that prayer with me, and I love it, wiggle your fingers and toes, circulate fresh, lively, new healing, wisdom, insight, love, bliss, truth, creativity, innovation, humor. Curl onto your right side, take your time. Rest on your right side for a moment. Good, please keep your eyes closed when you sit up. There's a deep reason we do that. Then we'll arrive back on Earth after a wonderful practice. Boy, you know what? I honestly hope and pray you enjoyed it as much as I do. I love doing this with friends around the world. Hands into our heart. Drop your chin. Yoga is for everybody. No one's excluded. Everyone's included. We all spring from the very same source. To that source, all together we say, Namaste. As always, I bid arrivederci, adieu, and adios to my YouTube friends. Thank you for liking and subscribing. It's making a giant difference. I want to see 4 digits of subscribers, so thanks for sharing with others. And then by the end of next year, 1 million subscribers as we spread yoga around the world, because as crazy as the world seems, we're going to make it. So bye, YouTubers.